Dear friends, today's topic of discussion is life cycle of Riccia. Here we are studying the life cycle pattern of Riccia. So that we are not going in details each and every aspects of its life cycle. So we are observing superficially just highlights of the parts of or events in the life cycle of Riccia. So, life cycle of Riccia or life cycle pattern of Riccia. Okay. Now, classification means systematic position of the Riccia. It is belong to division Bryophyta, class Hepaticopsida. Hepaticopsida members commonly called as liverworts. Okay, then order Marcantiales. It is one of the important and largest order in the Hepaticopsida class. Then Marcantiales having family Marcantiaceae and genus Riccia. So this is the classification or systematic position of Riccia. Division Bryophyta, class Hepaticopsida, order Marcantiales, family Ricciaceae and genus Riccia. Then occurrence. Occurrence is also called as habitat, where it can occurs, where it can observe. Its occurrence is Riccia is terrestrial. Okay, means it can grows on the soil or any substrata present on the soil substratum. Okay, then Riccia is terrestrial, shade loving plant. Okay, as you know that all bryophytes are shade loving plants. So this bryophyte, this Riccia also prefers the shady conditions for its growth. Shade loving plant occurring on moist walls. Okay, then again another characteristics regarding bryophyta occurrence, they are shade loving and moisture loving plants, so that they can very easily prefers moisture conditioned habitats. Okay, shade loving plant occurring on moist walls, moist rock soils, moist rocks, moist banks of rivers, etc. So occurrence of Riccia is terrestrial, shade-loving plant occurring on moist walls, moist soil, moist rocks, moist bank of rivers, etc. Then gametophytic plant body, external characteristics. Gametophytic plant body means what? In case of bryophytes, two types of plant bodies are there. First one is the gametophytic and another one is the sporophytic. Gametophytic plant body means what? Gametangia producing plant body is gametophytic plant body. Gametangia means what? Male and female reproductive organs are called as gametangia. Male reproductive organ or male gametangium is called as antheridium. Female reproductive organ or female gametangium is called as the archegonium. The antheridium, archegonium means male gametangium, female gametangium, or male reproductive organ, female reproductive organ producing body is called as gametophytic plant body. Due to producing antheridium, archegonium, male and female gametangium, this plant body causes the sexual reproduction. Okay, so in case of bryophytes, gametophytic plant body is the dominant plant body, important plant body, then long-lived plant body, independent plant body. In case of nutrition, it is always attached to the substratum with the help of basal rhizoids. It can absorb the water and minerals with the help of rhizoids and synthesize its own food material, as they are photosynthetic or chlorophyllous plants. Okay, so gametophytic plant body is the major plant body. Then the important plant body, dominant plant body in the life cycle of bryophytes. Okay, so this aspect is gametophytic plant body external characteristics. In case of bryophytes, plant body is the thallus. So Riccia thallus external characteristics. Okay. First point, the gametophyte is typically roseate. Roseate means rose-like structure. Okay, the gametophyte is typically roseate like because of several dichotomous branching. The thallus of the Riccia always shows dichotomous branching. Di means two and cotomy means two structures. Okay, and, shows always dichotomous branching. Due to frequent dichotomous branching, matured thallus shows the rosette like. Number two, plant body is thalloid. Okay, thallus means undifferentiated plant body. It cannot distinguish into root, stem as well as leaves. So it is thalloid. Plant body is thalloid and dorsiventrally flattened. Dorsiventrally means what? Dorsal side and ventral side. Dorsal side means upper side and ventral side means lower side. Both sides are different from each other. Such thallus is called as dorsiventral thallus. And flattened means flat. Its structure is flat to the substratum. Okay. Number 3, the thallus is linear. It is a long and wedge shaped. Its structure is wedge like. Number 4, it is thick in midrib region. At the center there is a midrib and at midrib region thallus is thick. Then number 5, it has a conspicuous median longitudinal furrow on the dorsal surface. You see in the dorsal surface there is a longitudinal means long furrow. Furrow means small pit-like structure. Furrow means small pit-like structure present in the सेंटर और डॉर्सल साइड ऑफ द थॅलस. म्हणजे त्याला आपण मराठीत कसं काय म्हणू, एक छोटंसं असं उतार होत आलेला. फर्रो म्हणजे काय, खोलगट भाग. डॉर्सल साईडला असा खोलगट भाग झालेला असतो, दोन्ही बाजूने असा खोलगट भाग आलेला असतो. ओके. नंबर 6, रायझॉइड्स अँड स्केल्स आर प्रेझेंट ऑन द वेंट्रल सरफेस. वेंट्रल मीन्स लोअर साईड. लोअर साईडला काय काय आहेत, रायझॉइड्स अँड स्केल्स. Number 7, the growing apex of branch bears rows of scales. Toward the ventral side, the growing apex as well as the margins of the thallus having the many scales. Number 8, the scales are violet in color and multicellular. These scales are violet in color and multicellular structures. On the other hand, the rhizoids are unicellular structure. Okay. Number 9, rhizoids are present on the midrib region. Okay, midrib region means midrib is present toward the dorsal side and on the same side toward the on the same point toward the ventral side the rhizoids are present. Okay, rhizoids are present on the midrib region and are two types, smooth walled and tuberculated. Okay, see here the photographs. The first green color the photograph shows the rosette matured thallus of Riccia. Rosette thallus means rose-like structure due to its frequent dichotomous branching. Then again A diagram is rosette thallus. Then B diagram is the single thallus, which is the dorsal side, upper side of the thallus. At the center there is a prominent midrib. And C diagram, third diagram is C diagram having the C diagram shows the ventral surface or ventral side of the thallus, ventral view of the thallus. On ventral side the scales and rhizoids are present. Rhizoids are for absorbing the water and nutrition from the soil as well as anchorage in function. Okay, they gives mechanical support to the thallus. Okay. Then scales are multicellular structure. They can protect the apical apical growing tip of the thallus as well as in some conditions these scales are helpful for the rhizoids in case of absorption of water. Then see here the scale. First diagram is the scale, which is the multicellular structure. On the other hand, another two diagrams are smooth walled and tuberculated rhizoids. They are unicellular structures. So see in first diagram multicellular scale is there. In second diagram smooth walled rhizoids are there. And third diagram tuberculated rhizoids are there. Either rhizoids are tuberculated or smooth, function is the same, that is absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Now, internal organization of the gametophytic plant body. So, anatomy of the thallus. Now, for anatomy, you should take the transverse section of the thallus, observe under microscope, then you will get these details. Okay, point number one. Anatomy means internal structure, internal organization, internal arrangement. Oh, okay, or internal morphology. Anatomy of the thallus. Point number one. The anatomy of the thallus shows two different regions. The anatomy of the thallus, internal structure of the thallus shows two different regions, photosynthetic region and storage region. Photosynthetic region means what? This region causes the photosynthesis. Why it causes photosynthesis? Because chloroplasts are there. Due to presence of chloroplast, they causes the photosynthesis, so that this region can synthesize the food material. And another region is the storage region. Why called as storage region? Due to its functioning, it can store the food material, so called as the storage region. Sorry. So anatomically, Riccia thallus having two regions, upper photosynthetic region and lower storage region. Okay. Point number two, photosynthetic region. It consists of vertical rows of filaments. The cells are arranged in vertical direction like a filaments. Okay. All cells contain chloroplast. Each and every cell having the chloroplast. Between two filaments, air chambers are present. In between two filaments, the air spaces are there. These air spaces are called as the air chambers. Okay. Each air chambers opens on the upper side by air pores. These air chambers are opens with the upper epidermis with the help of small pore called as the air pore. Pore means small hole. Okay. At the end of each filament, a single colorless cell is present. At the tip of the filament, single colorless cell is present. It works as a upper epidermis. Okay. That upper epidermis is the pored. Why pored? Because many air pores are there. Such upper cell of the filaments form a discontinuous upper epidermis, and that upper colorless cell layer causes the or form the discontinuous upper epidermis. Why call it as discontinuous? Because in between the epidermal cells many air pores are present, so it is discontinuous. Number 3, storage region. It is parenchymatous. The cells present in the storage region are parenchyma cells, so it is parenchymatous region. The cells are without intercellular spaces. Intercellular spaces are absent. All cells contain starch. All cell contains starch as a reserve of food material. Lower epidermis is continuous and bears rhizoids and scales. Upper epidermis is discontinuous, but lower epidermis is continuous, which produce the rhizoids and scales, okay, toward the lower side of the thallus. Sometimes sex organs, anthridium and archegonium and sporogonium are also seen in the storage region. At the maturity, when this thallus enters in the sexual reproduction, this region produces the anthridium male reproductive organ, archegonium female reproductive organ. After that, spore producing organ, sporangium. Okay. See, so this is the diagrammatic view of the thallus. The upper black colored region is the photosynthetic region and lower region is the storage region, and from the lower epidermis or lower side many rhizoids and scales are develops. Now this is the detail diagram, cellular details of the thallus. Toward the upper epidermis is the discontinuous, then air chambers are there in between two photosynthetic filaments, then photosynthetic filaments are there. In between two filaments, air chamber is there. Air chamber opens with the air pores, and upper region is called as the photosynthetic region, and lower region is the storage region, which is made by the parenchymatous cells, which store the food material in the form of starch. Then at the end, lower epidermis is there, which is the continuous, produces the smooth walled tuberculated rhizoids. Along with rhizoids, scales also produces. Okay, so in this way, this is the transverse section of the Riccia thallus. Now, the vegetative reproduction of the Riccia. First, vegetative reproduction means what? When vegetative thallus, which thallus is called as vegetative? The matured thallus. Okay, when matured thallus without help of Anthridium archegonium or any sexual structure causes the reproduction. Such reproduction is called as vegetative reproduction. Means this reproduction only causes by the matured thallus without help of any sexual structures. Okay, point number 1. By progressive death and decay of thallus. By progressive death and decay of the thallus. This is the most common method of vegetative reproduction. This method is most common. When gradual death and decay of the posterior part, posterior means back side, okay? When gradual death and decay म्हणजे कुजणे. When gradual death and decay of the posterior part of the thallus reaches to the point of the dichotomy, the lobes separate and each grows into an independent plant. See in the diagram. In first, see the above diagrams. In first diagram, matured thallus, and B diagram, gradual death and decaying of the thallus. That decaying and drying goes up to the upper two lobes. Now upper two lobes are separate. They are two small fragments. Fragment means small pieces. Now each fragment or each lobe or each piece goes in regeneration, and it produces the new individual thallus. In C diagram, two lobes are separate due to continuous death of the previous thallus, posterior thallus, and due to posterior thallus death, the two filaments are separated, and in D diagram, two filaments grows individually and produces new individual thallus of the Riccia. So this is the most common vegetative reproduction by progressive death and decay of the thallus. Okay. Now the second type of reproduction by tubers. Tubers are formed during unfavorable conditions. These tubers are formed in unfavorable conditions. They store food and also function as perinating organs. Their function is storage the food material as well as reproduction. They remain alive even after the death of the thallus. They can continue their life after the death of the mother thallus also. मदर थॅलस जरी त्याची डेथ झाली तर ते ट्यूबर्स काय करतात, त्यांची ते कंटिन्युअस जिवंत राहू शकतात. In favorable conditions, when sufficient moisture is available, they germinate and give rise to new thallus. Okay, you see in the diagram E and F. E and F shows the tubers at the apical region of the thallus. Okay, then toward the posterior region of the thallus, these tubers storage with the these tubers are with saturated amount of the food material. Due to saturation of the food material, they can grow or they can live for a very long duration due to very high amount of the food material. And when they detach from the mother thallus, they grows independently and produce the new individual thallus of the Riccia. So in this way, these are the tubers, vegetatively reproductive organs. Okay. Now, third type of vegetative reproduction is the by adventitious branches. Adventitious branches develop from the ventral surface of the thallus. These adventitious branches are developing from the ventral surface of the thallus. Okay, these branches on separation from the main thallus may develop into new thalli. You see in the diagram number G. In diagram G, toward the matured thallus is there, and that matured thallus produces the adventitious branches from its ventral side, from its lower side. And when these adventitious branches are separated from the mother thallus, they individually independently grows and produce new individual thallus of the Riccia. So this is the vegetative reproduction in Riccia caused by adventitious branches. So this is about the vegetative reproduction of Riccia caused by three ways: by progressive death and decay of thallus, by tubers, and by adventitious branches. Now we are entering in the sexual reproduction of the Riccia. First point, species of Riccia are both monoecious and dioecious. Monoecious and dioecious is the sexual differentiation. Okay, monoecious means that when plant bodies are different, male plant body is there, female plant body is there. Male plant body produces antheridium and female plant body produces the archegonium. Such condition is the monoecious conditions. And dioecious condition means male and female reproductive organs produced by the single thallus. Such condition is the dioecious condition. Both the sexual differentiation we can observe in the Riccia. Point number 2. Both male and female sex organs are embedded in the dorsal surface of the thallus. Embedded म्हणजे आत असे रुतलेले असतात. Okay, both male and female reproductive organs present in the dorsal surface of the thallus. Number 3, male sex organ is antheridium and female sex organ is the archegonium. Okay, and speciality of these sexual organs are they are multicellular structure. In case of bryophytes, antheridia and archegonia. Antheridia, plural of antheridium. Archegonia, plural of the archegonium. Okay, these antheridia and archegonia are complex structure. Then they are multicellular structure. An important thing is that they are covered by the sterile jacket layer. The important thing is that they are covered by the sterile jacket layer. Now the antheridium. The antheridium is a male reproductive organ. Point number 2. It is present in the antheridial chamber. These antheridia are always present in the antheridial chamber. Number 3. It consists of very short multicellular stalk and club-shaped body. The antheridium having the small multicellular stalk as well as its structure is club-shaped. Number 4. It is covered with single layer of jacket. The covered by the single layer of jacket, which is the sterile jacket layer, which is the protective layer of the antheridium. Number 5. An antheridium consists of many androcytes. Okay, antheridium contain many androcytes. These androcytes are also called as sperm mother cells or androgonal cells. Okay, which later on develops into biflagellate and therozoids. Sorry, these androcytes also called as sperm mother cells or androgonal cells. And these androgonal cells produces the biflagellate and therozoids. These antherozoids are also called as spermatozoids or sperms or male gametes. Okay, in this way the single antheridium produces many sperms, many male gametes or many antherozoids. See in the diagram, the antheridial chamber is there in the antheridial chamber. Antheridium is present. Antheridial chambers open with the mouth called as the ostiole. Antheridium is made by many androcytes. Androcytes are also called as androcyte mother cell or androgonal cell or sperm mother cells. Okay. Then antheridial wall is there, sterile made by sterile jacket layer, and small stalk is there, and the antheridium structure is the club shaped. And in B diagram, the sperm is given, which is the biflagellated. Two flagella are there. So single, that is the sperm, also called as male gamete, having the single male nucleus. त्या स्पर्म मध्ये काय असतो तर सिंगल मेल न्यूक्लियस असतो. ओके. Now the archegonium. The archegonium is a female reproductive organ. Okay. Number 2, it is present in the archegonial chamber. It is again present in the archegonial chamber. Number 3, it is a flask shaped body. Okay. Of two parts, basal venter and upper neck. So these are the two parts of the archegonium, basal venter and upper neck, and it is a flask shaped body. Number 4, the venter consists of a single egg and venter canal cell. Venter consists venter canal cell, and at the base egg is there, and egg is having the female nucleus, haploid female nucleus, and which is the female gamete. Sperm कोण आहे मेल गॅमेट and egg कोण आहे female gamete, and egg is the non-flagellated structure, which is non-motile structure, but sperm is motile structure, flagellated structure. Number 5, the neck consists of 4 to 6 neck canal cells. Neck consists 4 to 6 neck canal cells and 6 to 9 neck cells arranged in 6 vertical rows. So this is the number of neck canal cells. Okay. Then number 6, 4 lead cells are present at the tip. They are called as the cover cells. Okay. You see in the diagram, at the tip the cover cells are there. They covers 4 cover cells are there. They covers the mouth of the archegonium. This archegonium is the flask shaped structure present in the archegonial chamber. Basal, it is flask shaped structure. Basal structure is the solen, which is called as the venter. Upper is neck like structure called as the neck. So flask shaped archegonium made by basal, venter and upper neck, and neck contain the neck canal cells and venter contain the venter canal cells. Okay. And at the base of the venter there is a egg, non-motile female gamete. Okay. And these archegonium in young condition covers by the cover cells. Okay. So in this way, this is the structure of matured archegonium. Now fertilization. Number 1, water is essential for fertilization. Water is essential for fertilization. Number 2, just before fertilization, the neck canal cells and the venter canal cells of the archegonium degenerate and mucilagine and form a mucilaginous substance. In case of archegonium, at the time of fertilization, in the archegonium, some changes are takes place. The neck canal cells, venter canal cells, they are degenerate and produces the mucilaginous substances or sticky substance. Okay. Number 3, due to pressure of mucilaginous substance, the cover cells can separate. And due to inner pressure of the mucilaginous substance, the cover cells are separate, and thus a free passage is formed. So inside the archegonium, free passage is formed, and for the enter of antherozoids in the archegonium, the free spaces is formed for the entry of sperm or entry of male gamete in the archegonium. Number 4, many antherozoids, many sperms, many male gametes may enter in the archegonium. Okay. Only one fuses with the egg and forms a diploid zygote. Okay. Many sperms are entered in the archegonium, but on first come first serve basis, the first coming male gamete or sperm fuses with the egg present in the archegonium. In this way, the male gamete male nucleus present in the sperm and female nucleus present in the egg, both nuclei are haploid and both haploid nuclei fuses and diploid zygotic condition is forms. Now after diploid zygotic condition is formed, diploid zygote is formed, and that diploid zygote previously their archegonium is present, and after fertilization zygote is formed, and zygote goes in the further cell division and it produces small embryo, and that embryo produces the sporophytic structure. आलं का लक्षात तुमच्या? झायगोट तयार झाला, झायगोट सेल डिव्हिजनमध्ये गेला, त्याच्यापासून अतिशय इनकॉन्स्पिक्युअस एम्ब्रिओ तयार झाला आणि एम्ब्रिओपासून काय तयार झालं? स्पोरोफायटिक स्ट्रक्चर. ओके. When sporophytic structure develops in the plant body, that plant body is called as the sporophytic plant body. आलं लक्षात स्पोरोफायटिक कसा तयार होतो? नाव स्पोरोफाइट ऑफ द रिक्सिया. पॉइंट नंबर 1. The sporophyte consists of only capsule. Foot and seta are absent. In case of bryophytes, sporophyte is made by basal foot, middle seta and upper capsule. But in case of Riccia, only capsule is present, foot and seta is absent. Number 2. Mature capsule consists of many spore tetrads. Tetrad means in young condition spores are present in tetrad condition in union of 4 spores. When 4 spores are fused with each other, that condition is the tetrad conditions. Okay, so many spore tetrads means union of 4 cells. Many spore tetrads present in the capsule. Number 3, capsule is also called as sporangium. Number 3, each spore is uninucleate. Each spore is uninucleate because it develops after the meiosis. So these spores are the sexual spores, develops after the sexual reproduction, develops after the meiosis. Meiosis takes place in the zygotic nucleus, so that these spores are uninucleate and haploid. Then number 3, each spore is uninucleate, unicellular and haploid with triradiate mark, and on each spore triradiate mark is there. Number 4, each spore has 3 wall layers such as outer exosporium, middle mesosporium and inner endosporium. So these are the 3 layers of the spore wall. Sorry. Number 5, the exosporium is thin and cutinized, means made by cuticle, made by cuticular as a substance. Then mesosporium is thick and composed of 3 layers, while endosporium is homogeneous, composed of pectose and cellulose material. So here the cell wall composition, the spore wall composition is given. Okay. Number 6, spores are dispersed after breaking of capsule. When capsule or sporangium breaking, the spores are dispersed and germinate in favorable conditions, and they can, when the sufficient moisture is available to them, they can germinate and produce new individual thallus of the Riccia. You see in the photograph, the photograph is the circular capsule or circular sporangium is given, which is covered by the sporangium wall. The calyptra is there, and inside the calyptra, inside the capsule wall, many spores are there. They are in tetrad condition. At maturity, they become free from the tetrad condition. When this capsule ruptures, the spores are liberated under favorable conditions. They germinate and produce the new individual thallus of the Riccia. So in this way, this is the sporophytic condition and alternation of generation in the Riccia. Now this is the very simple structure. Here Riccia at the center, Riccia name is given. That Riccia is nothing but the gametophytic plant body, dominant plant body, main plant body, long-lived plant body, green plant body, nutritionally independent plant body. Okay, this Riccia at maturity first goes in the vegetative reproduction. It causes the vegetative reproduction by many ways. At again further maturity entered in the sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, it is monoecious as well as the dioecious. Male plant body different, female plant body monoecious condition, and single plant body produce anthridium archegonium is the dioecious condition. So then male plant body produces the anthridium, female plant body produces the archegonium. Anthridium produces the many antherozoids or sperm. They are haploid, motile, having the single male nucleus. Archegonium contain single egg, which is the non-motile, having the female nucleus. The sperm and egg fusion takes place in the archegonium. Fertilization is formed. Diploid zygotic condition is developed, and diploid zygote produces the small embryo. Embryo produces the spore producing structure called as the sporophytic structure. Sporophytic structure only having the capsule. Foot setae is absent. That sporophytic structure sporangium having the spore mother cells. Spore mother cells are diploid in nature. They goes in the meiosis reduction division, and due to meiosis their haploid condition is formed and the spores are developed in young conditions. Spores are in the form of tetrad condition. At maturity they become free from tetrad condition and behave as individual spores, each spore having the triradiate mark, and in this way many spores are developed in the sporangium, develops in the capsule. At maturity capsule ruptures, spores are liberated. When spores are settled down on the suitable substratum under favorable conditions, they start germination. After germination they produce the new individual plant body of the Riccia. In this way the life cycle pattern of the Riccia is over. Thank you.